Hey there. Just wanted to take a minute to sort of recap the last week and a half and, take some time to just go over a little bit of my background and, you know, why I'm doing this. Um, One of the things that I really enjoy with this process is looking through my Garmin app and seeing all the data that's in there, all the information that's in there, and just seeing, no big changes, but kind of little changes on a pretty regular basis. Um, what I'm seeing so far is my average pace um, is up, not a lot, but a little. My max pace is actually about the same, but um, having the average go up a little bit makes me feel pretty good. Same thing in my strength training. What I'm seeing is, I've increased weight a little bit, increased reps a little bit. Same situation, not a lot in either place, but um, enough that it's noticeable. Now, it like I said, it does make me feel pretty good, but again, it is only a small amount, so I get that. But also, it's only been 12 days, so I'm trying to keep that like in my head as well. Um, I think the most important thing for me about the last, you know, week and a half is that I'm not hurting at all. Um, I know from experience that getting injured, it really, really derails my plan. It's so hard to take that break and then, you know, try to get better, try to feel better, and then try to get back into it. All of my momentum is gone. It feels like it's impossible to get started again. And so I don't want to have to deal with that. I don't want to have to, um, I don't want to have to start and stop and then restart again. Also, I just don't have enough time with the half marathon in April. Um, I mean, there's just not enough time for me to take a couple of weeks off once or twice, and and still make it to the race and be ready to run. So the things that I'm trying to do to stay injury free is to just be kind of nice and easy about what I'm doing. I'm not going overboard on weights, and for running, I'm trying really hard to take a soft step um, and to just not heel strike. Last year I did a 5K that I trained for, and um, in training for that, I wore my Vibram Five Fingers a whole bunch to try and kind of force myself into, stepping on my front part of my foot rather than landing on my heel. And for those of you that have seen those before, I think it's a 2 millimeter Vibram sole. Um, if you come down on your heel, it hurts, and if you do that on a rock on the asphalt, man, it really hurts. And it did. I feel like it did a good job of helping to kind of retrain my my brain and my body how that works, so that I was stepping down softer and stepping down more on the elastic parts of my foot. Um, so what's my overall goal? What's my plan with all of this? Obviously, I want to run the half marathon. Um, but it's not just that. uh, you know I'm in my mid 40s now. I'm overweight and I need to make a change. um, I'd sure love to live as long as possible, spend time with my wife and my kids. But honestly, those things are kind of hard to get like stuck in my brain and make like a visible difference in how I act. Not because I don't care about them, but because it's such a long term thing. And it's really easy, at least for me, and maybe you're the same way. But it's really easy to feel like those things are so far in the future. The future is going to take care of itself. The changes are slow, kind of imperceptible, and it's easy to sort of let tomorrow be tomorrow, and it's everything's just going to kind of continue forward as is. It's not really going to get any worse. And to some degree that is true, but also, as I get older, that's less and less true. So I spent some time over the last couple of years trying to figure out how to eat better. I've always eaten a lot, and while that's fun, it doesn't work very well if you're trying to get in better shape. But one of the thing that I really tried to understand for myself was, how much food am I really bringing into my body? And not just food necessarily, but energy. How much energy am I bringing in my body, and how much do I actually need? So that took a little bit of time, but I finally was able to sort of get my brain around it and kind of, get that figured out. Over the last couple of years, I think I've lost about 35-ish pounds. But then I sort of plateaued, and, I haven't really lost very much weight or really haven't lost any weight in the last 6 months or so. So one of the things that really kind of sparked this half marathon training was the last fall. I had an opportunity to go on a bike ride with my brothers and my brother-in-law, and I even spent a bunch of time training for it. So the months leading up to it, I spent every week. I spent time on my bike, getting out, riding. And I got to the point where, I could ride back and forth from work without feeling totally wrecked, which, I count that as a win. It's about 30 miles. It's fairly flat, and it's all paved, but still, it felt pretty good. So then we met for the ride. We met in southern Utah. And we jumped on our bikes, and the first day was 35 miles and about 5,700 feet of elevation gain. Cards on the table. I walked up some of those hills. Especially as the day wore on, I walked up a lot of those hills, especially on the steepest parts of them. It was just, it was too much. I was trying to keep my heart rate in a place that I felt like wasn't going to cause a heart attack. So we camped for the night after that first day, and I just could not sleep. I couldn't cool off. My legs were just achy, like I couldn't believe. Plus it was, it was windy in the tent, and it was noisy, and, all the stuff, but I just didn't feel very good. The next day we woke up and kind of did it all over again. We did another 25 miles and another 3,000 feet of elevation, and it was brutal. It was really hard. But the thing that really made me stop and think is that the other guys that I was with, they were able to keep a lot better pace than me. They were able to go throughout the day and not be as worn out as I was. And we're all about the same age, and it really just kind of struck me how much I had let my health and my physical fitness slip, and obviously my weight go up as well. So when my wife and I were driving home, we talked about getting more healthy. It was a great time to talk about it, and we had done a 5K last year. It was the American River Parkway half marathon event. We didn't do the half marathon, but we did the 5K. And that was tons of fun. And so we decided this year we were going to really go for it. We were going to go for the half marathon. So that was in October, and I know that I should have started training immediately, but you know how it is, I didn't. So finally on January 1st, I did start this process. So now I have 4 whole months to get ready for the race. My goal for the marathon, half marathon, is completion. I just want to finish. Obviously it would be awesome to run it in a set time to get a certain number of minutes per mile. I would love to see 9 minutes a mile, but I'm nowhere near that right now, and I realize that I might not be. And so I want a realistic time, something that I can, or a realistic goal rather, something that I can actually make some progress towards and achieve, um, even though it's going to be hard. So basically, I decided to use the Garmin Coach, which is built into the Garmin Connect app, which is kind of a cool feature. Um, the reason why I decided to use that is I already had a watch, and I needed something to take a lot of the I don't know, just a lot of the headache out of planning. Um, and the cool thing for me about it is that it it makes it so easy. I answered a couple of questions in the beginning, and it first offered that I should maybe think about something shorter, which I declined. I stuck with the half marathon. Um, but after that, it basically said, "Hey, here's the plan," and it updates the workouts on it looks like so far it looks like a weekly basis. Um, I'm not always just running the same stretch of road over and over, which for me is huge. I'm tend to get bored about things, and if I'm running the same stretch of road, I'm likely to get bored, and then that's going to help kind of whittle away at the motivation, which I don't need, I don't want. So the strength training was basically a given after I started the running plan, after I came up with that plan and started to use the Garmin Coach. um, the main reason for that, I've done strength training in the past. I sort of stopped a number of months ago, but uh, having a day off for me is hard. It's so easy. If I have a day off, it's so easy for the next workout to come around and for me to just kind of, I don't really want to today. I can put it off till my next day off. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. But if I don't have a day off, then I don't have that opportunity. I don't have that gap that sort of gets me to feel like it's okay to skip a day. Well, not that I don't have any days off. I do take Sunday off every week, and I'm planning to stick to that for the whole thing. Got to go to church, got to keep the Sabbath. So other than that, no days off. So the hardest part about adding the strength training was coming up with a plan for that as well, something that I knew that I could keep throughout this whole process, and something that I knew would be a good thing to kind of supplement what I was doing with the running. And really, once I decided to just keep it simple, it just clicked. And so basically 4 workouts is the plan: incline bench, military press, tricep extensions, and bent over rows. If I do those 4 things, and of course I can always add more later, but if I do those 4 things, then I feel like I'm making a difference, and I don't have to get up in my head about it. Super easy. It just, it made it so that I could just get into it without coming up with a bunch of stuff. So lastly, the best thing that I think with this process is that I decided to record everything. Well, not everything, but record things every day about it and post it to YouTube. That was not an easy decision to make. Putting that much of my, private life on the internet seems kind of a weird thing. But man, I gotta tell you, what a huge difference that it's made so far in making sure to keep me on board with, with the plan, which is just fantastic. So really, I think what I wanted to put out there today is just, call to everyone else who happens to see this video. I don't have a bunch of followers, so I know it's not being seen by a bunch of people, but if you see this, join me in getting healthier. Post what you're working on in the comments. It's so much better to you work on things together. help keep each other accountable, and help push each other forward. If you're in the Sacramento area, or if you want to be at the end of April, come and join me for the American River Parkway half marathon. Be awesome to find some new people and run with for that race. It'd be just the best. Most importantly, don't listen to that evil little voice inside your head that says that you can't do it, or you're not good enough to do it, or that you shouldn't do it, or you're just going to fail anyways. That voice is so full of it, and you just can't let that thing win. So get up, get going, get healthier, make those little improvements that make a huge difference. And I will see you again tomorrow. Have a great one.